Okay, I'd like to call the regular March meeting of the Palmyra-Eagle Area School District to order. Could we have the roll call?
Yep. Tara Leroy.
Here.
Michael Eddy.
Yes.
Zach Rakowski.
Here.
Doris Parsons.
Here.
Jean Reed.
Here.
Mitzi Broszewski.
Yes.
Christiana Williams.
Here.
Okay, knowing we have a quorum, I will read the district mission statement. To ensure that students excel with intellect and virtue, inspired by innovative educators who engage and challenge each individual. Would you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and looking at the agenda, we are removing action item F. But if we could have, are there any other amendments or changes to the agenda? Now, if we could have a motion to approve the agenda minus action item F.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda minus action item F.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Public comment. We did not receive any via email, I don't believe, and anyone here would like to make that? Alrighty. Board monitoring. A, Herb Cole Teacher Fellowship Awards.
Katie wrote the statement.
Katie did write a statement. We
Yeah.
got it in our board packet. Yeah, and it's actually, so I'll just, Katie's not here. We can, if she comes in, she wants to add to it. But our district is just so proud to have two teachers, Ms. Amy Mute, who's actually here, and Ms. Rachel Bennett, that were in the running for the Herb Cole Teacher Fellowship Award, which is extremely prestigious. It's very hard to even get to the point where you're going to be in the running for it, let alone get as far as they did. And Ms. Bennett made it through the first tier, and I believe Ms. Mute made it beyond after that. She advanced on as a finalist, and that's really awesome. I think we should. I'll read the little end card that Katie wrote. Districts who are honored to employ Herb Cole nominees and finalists should understand that they employ talented individuals who go above and beyond all expectations, and their students are served in the highest positive manner. Congratulations again to Ms. Bennett and Ms. Mute. We're proud of you, that you are Panthers, and we're proud to work with you and learn from you both. And that's from the principal, who is the administrator.
I'd also like to add that Ms. Mute also happened to be one of the many amazing teachers that our student, who was the Herb Cole Excellence Award winner, she taught him when he was just a youngster here, so.
Yep.
Yes.
First grade was the first half of the year. It's amazing that.
Yeah, we're just, I mean, flying high with really wonderful awards that are just noticed, not just in our community, but statewide, and that's fantastic. Thank you for all you do. We have a second board monitoring, and that's first grade student Evelyn Corey. And I believe this is Evelyn. This sounds awesome. You were a first place winner in a statewide contest relating to the Firefighter Association. Oh, you need to turn that around and get that on the video. So you received a framed print of your work, and a $100 gift card. And Evelyn, it says that you're going to donate your gift card to the Palmyra Fire Department. That is absolutely awesome. Yes, absolutely.
I wanted to tell you because she went home and this was pretty much on her own. With the firefighters that come into the school and they get the newspaper that goes home with them. And her daddy is a firefighter, so she was very wanting to do something about that. And then somebody said, "Oh, we need to do it again and get correct."
are very proud of you, Evelyn.
Yeah. Really, really good job. See, across the board in all ages, everyone's bringing just wonderful things to the district with different talents and things they can do. It's so
Funny thing that Mary wants to do here, right?
Yeah.
And she just wanted the interpretive reader too.
Yes, oh, thank
First
you.
grade.
I was
Sorry,
gonna
I
say
didn't-
that, but I forgot. So she was also our interpretive reader for the first grade. Should have had her bring the book too, because she was amazing reading that story. I can tell mom and dad must have read it to her a million times when she was little, because she had all the expression and all the words and did awesome.
Well, good job, Evelyn.
Yeah. Were you excited when you found out you won? Yeah. That's very cool. Thank you. And thank you for coming. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Mom.
for bringing it.
Thanks, Mom.
Can I ask her a quick question? What made her decide to donate her money? So you want to help out Daddy?
If you know, it's a volunteer department, and they move it, right? And we talk about that, it helps them.
That's generous. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
I know. Yeah. This is the best part for me.
Thanks, little brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, who wants to follow up with that? Well, it's going to be Tara for the Public Relations Committee meeting.
Well, our parent meetings are almost that much fun, you know, celebrating all the good things going on here. So we had a meeting on February 18th, and we had updates from our PR coordinator, Caitlin. She's been doing a great job with the social media and getting stuff in the newspapers and keeping the website current. She's put the finishing touches on a real nice trifold direct mail piece that's going to go out. So that should be, I don't know, it should be pretty soon went out. You know, it was, anyway, so that'll be hitting all of the households in our district. And we also talked about getting the athletic records in the hallway down by the high school gym. Those basically haven't really been updated since about 2019. So Joel and Caitlin are working on gathering all the necessary updates. In some cases, there's some sports that don't even have a display down there for records. So they're working on getting that up to date and looking good. We did talk about creating some sort of board survey to get feedback from staff and community and students. And I know some of the administrators already do some surveys on that. We were looking at getting some of the results. I know Joel does one after all the sports seasons and gets feedback from the students. So I asked about getting the results of those so we can better evaluate our coaching situations and things like that. We talked about the new community email system that's set up where people that don't have students in the district, they can go on our website, they can request to be added to a community email. We talked about the process of that and the type of content that we'll be able to send to those that we otherwise might not be able to communicate with. And we also talked about releasing the recent audit results, looking at most of the surrounding districts. Most of them have just been posting the entire audit on their website. We talked about having some sort of summary and action plan so that it's a little more informative and obviously really reading it. And then we talked about our PR star and discussed recognizing the awesome work that our district hosts do. So that was pretty much everything we talked about there.
And just to provide a little backup to some of what Tara said, some of our recent press, we have an awesome article on Todd in the Waukesha Freeman Weekend Edition, very positive, and Todd, nice picture of you. And then the front page of the Enterprise had what we just talked about, our student who got the Cole Scholarship Award, And then our Eagle Elementary spelling bee, so it's just nice to see us so positively in our neighbors. Okay, HR committee, Jean.
We have the HR, second HR committee meeting on, oops, don't have the date there, but, and the 18th. We started with benefits. We've asked Al, and he is starting to look into shopping and working with brokers for the benefits for next year to see if we can continue to do some cost reduction and also offer better or even better benefits to our employees. We asked Al to start reviewing salaries, and hopefully that was part of the report of finance, was just the beginning step to see where we will lead in order, if it's possible for us to do some things to help bring back the teachers from those that took reductions last year, and then also look towards the future where we might go with things in 21, 22. Todd is working, item D was Todd is working on an organization for the district. There's some work that he is doing and to reorganize most people around into some functions, add additional functions for others, and he is getting close to be able to present that. We also, I asked Al, I gave you a lot of tasks. He reviewed and looked into, from the prior meeting, into our background drug screens, and he feels that we're compliant and up to speed. And the only thing that did come up that we were going to assign for next time is Al, based on Tara's suggestion, we're going to look to consider doing maybe drug screenings and coaches for teachers that transport or drive school vehicles. So that was something we'll look into the next meeting. And that's it.
Curriculum policy, Christiana.
Curriculum and policy met last week. We discussed, went through a review of the grading system. So we went through, Carrie was able to send us a good chunk of all that documentation. We went through it. We kind of looked a lot at the retake policy, and Carrie kind of helped us mold what that retake, relearning process is supposed to look like. She did say that it can be a process that's a little bit more difficult for some of the newer teachers. It's kind of like a learn how and when to use it. So she was going to touch base back with some of our newer teachers and just kind of go over it again to make sure that everybody's really getting the hang of it and using it the way that it's meant to be used. We took a look at the course catalog, and the committee recommended to move that to the full board for tonight for approval. Discuss the 5th grade middle school alignment. So that was a discussion that Katie and Carrie are working on, basically slowly adjusting 5th grade so it's not such a shock when they get over here at 6th grade and they're in more of I use the mod, but I think it's called blocks, focus. So it's learning to basically to learn from more than just one teacher throughout the day, kind of splitting it up. So maybe the 5th grade will have 2 teachers or 3 teachers, and then when they get up here, it's just not such a shock. And so Katie and Carrie are really working on that. They have 5th grade coming up to visit March 19th for a little visit with the 6th grade, and they're on top of it. We discussed the calendar for 21-22. That's going to be really hard for me to get used to. Katie requested a staggered 4K start, but other than that, you guys received in your board members calendar that the committee recommended to move to full board. Summer school, Katie came back with a couple more concrete financials and a few more details. We recommended to move it back to finance for review again. We discussed discussion around the wraparound care program. There was just basically a focus on some unrecognized problems or issues with running the the wraparound care program out of PES. Basically, Katie and Carrie are working forward to kind of further discuss everything, and we can get a good handle on the rest of this year, and then just start throwing around ideas about what we're gonna do next year. So, and that was it for us.
All right. Thank you. Buildings and grounds met tonight, Michael?
Yeah, building and grounds, we had on our agenda, we talked about the bipolar ionization generator. It really focuses on air quality. It's now at the state level. It's in a lot of conferences. It's becoming like more of a real thing. Whether it's more filtration or some kind of ionization generator, we've discussed this for the past few months, and we decided to move it to finance to talk about whether or not we're going to spend money on getting an engineering firm in here to give us a realistic view of what our needs are. So we did that. We discussed putting dugout ropes on the standard process field. We did get two things there. One, we needed to make sure that we didn't need any kind of a permit to do so. And second, we actually got a quote, which was rather large. So we decided that it was probably best that we didn't focus on that at the moment and kind of let the Booster Club take over, as we know that they have some funds already dedicated to that. Then I asked a question about talking about the standard process fields. It was a gift, and my questions were who's responsible for taking care of it, and is there a budget for care? So Rich provided some very good feedback that we take care of it as needed. Isn't necessarily a schedule of activities that go on, and theoretically there might be a budget that was set aside, someone's going to investigate into that. But right now we spend what we need to spend when we need to spend. And then lastly, Rich provided this evening the 21-22 capital improvements to include roof repairs and an HVAC plan. That's fresh, the ink is still wet, so we're going to review that and ask questions in the next PG meeting, which is on April 13th. So, all right, that's all we have.
Thank you. Finance Committee, Nancy.
Finance Committee met tonight. We discussed early retirement of some of our debt, which we are recommending for board action tonight. It will essentially save us over $12,000 to pay that off and remove one bond off of our debt. We discussed our teacher financial status, which we sent back to HR for some further exploration. We talked about extracurricular contracts and stipends and how those are paid out. It appears that most have now received their contracts or letters of intent, and we're working on resolving some stipend issues. Summer school is in our action items as well. There's some allowances for a few teaching staff and aides for summer school to progress at the up to 8th grade at Eagle Elementary School. We also discussed current budget variances, and there's not really anything significant. We discussed our aid pay, and we're having some feedback on that as well as the teachers. And then we further discussed transportation alternatives and instructed Al to do some investigation of quotes from other bus companies and refer back to our current carrier. And that was it for
It was a full hour, it was good.
and we will be meeting next month.
Administrator reports, we have Haley and Carrie here, either of you?
We survived ACT today, we're happy about that. We're happy about that. Just congratulations to Lane. Haley, who you probably saw on social media, was given the DAR Good Citizen Award. Normally there'd be nice banquets would go with all of this stuff, and none of that is really occurring, so that's kind of a bummer, but I'm looking into some things to try and still recognize some of the different things that they're doing. So other than that, working on scheduling, going to start the freshmen next week, or incoming freshmen, and keep moving forward.
Let's see, we had in-service a week or two ago, that we did a district-wide special ed kind of professional development, kind of focusing on strategies for differentiation of instruction, how to modify work properly, better ways to make sure that accommodation
evaluations are happening in the classroom, things like that. So we do have a lot of new teachers. So we're gonna continue with that, with some more PD on inclusion and how to have inclusive classrooms. We got our training done for the DLM, for our teachers that have to administer that. We're gonna get into forward testing after spring break.
We're just holding on until spring break.
2 more weeks, you can do it.
I know it's
Great, thank you. And as we said, Katie's at her concerts, which are this week at the elementary school. I think there's 4 of them, correct?
Yep, there are 2 tonight and then 2 again on Thursday.
Okay. She sent us the links for that we can all watch them, which that's gotta be adorable. So
I can't wait, I was a little sad for me tonight.
Rehearsal was pretty
Yeah.
cute earlier today.
Oh, I bet.
Can I just ask quick on COVID? How has it been? Has it been kind of
COVID is-
rearview mirror?
good. I have no good right now. I believe district-wide we're at 0 in all types of quarantines and positives right now. Primarily focused right now has been on vaccination for those staff who want it. So I'm going to be sending out one more email tomorrow about kind of last call to Jefferson County. I was on with Jefferson County right now, or on the 3 o'clock today, and really countywide things seem to be trending in the right direction. So I only have good to report about COVID right now, so that's good.
Just curious, I noticed
Yep.
our teachers got it before, and it's funny, you guys started, and then I heard that, oh, now it's gonna be, was that because our affiliation with sports?
So long and short of it is the 1A people had kind of stopped going to Jefferson County. So there was a window before it pushed down to 65 where they had vaccines, and that's a like real small group got in. And then everyone else has gotten in since March 1st when teachers were open again. But honestly, I would say next Wednesday will be the last day we will offer through the district. Obviously, teachers can get it on their own after that, but it'll be the last day we're working with Jefferson County to offer specifically for district staff.
And it was right here they came?
No, we actually have to go to the fairgrounds, Jefferson County Fairgrounds, and they have a really nice process and very smooth to get in and do everything you need to do, and the sign up has been great. They've been amazing to work with. Very diligent in making sure school staff get what they need and keeping us informed. And as you probably saw yesterday, CDC released if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to quarantine, which is a huge thing for us. So teachers that are fully vaccinated for the remainder of the year won't have to quarantine if they would be exposed.
Unless they have symptoms.
Yeah, unless they have symptoms. Everything is unless you have symptoms. If you have symptoms, you stop all action. But that will be nice going forward to know that if someone is exposed in a classroom, they can stay teaching unless they have symptoms.
So have the majority of our staff been vaccinated, or where do we stand?
We're going to stand at about 75 where I am right now. And keep in mind that includes bus drivers, includes anybody that's affiliated with the district. So, and again, that's only what I know of to this point, and that may be a conversation. And that's one of the questions a lot of districts kicked around is there may be people who have gotten it outside of communication with me. Some have told me, some have not. But at some point when you get to wherever we are next year, you're going to have to know for if quarantine is still an issue. So, yeah, I think when we get done, I'll be at about 75. So, I mean, I've been happy with that. I was happy to not be Ford or Whitewater trying to get over 200 vaccines and get down to 3 right now. So it's been a really smooth process.
There's also some legal things out there, you know, can we require vaccinated, and I know the attorneys throughout the state are kind of kicking that one around too. So, I mean, you know, for example, you can require vaccinations for kids going to school, but those were things like, you know, measles, and some of those things. But this is a new one, and so I think it's going to be kind of interesting where that goes at this point.
There was some kid vaccine conversation on my call today. That's in very trial phases. The lowest age that they think they're taking around right now is somewhere between 12 and 14. But I've seen, I don't know if I read it all, but UW system talking about requiring for their students to return face-to-face, so that'll be interesting. I just want our numbers to keep going where they are, and then it won't be a problem, and it won't matter if you have a vaccine or not. can't get it if nobody has it, so.
You'd also be surprised at the number of districts that are just now starting.
That's what I
In fact, I know one.
kudos to you guys for being.
I know one that's starting like next week, and then a week later they'll be on spring break, so.
Well, and
I don't know how that works, but, it just, I think we're fortunate here. I think we have, good leadership in our schools that manage this very well and made sure that they got people out, when they needed to get them out and kept everyone safe. And I think that's why we've got in sessions literally every day.
Yeah, we were totally ahead of the game.
Yeah, I agree, that's why I think it's something we should be on the share with this.
Yeah, and it was nice. I mean, like I said, across Jefferson County, everybody is pretty much in a place of feeling really good, which then means they'll move down to that next level in Jefferson County, you know, so
Right.
they're doing child care facilities right now, and they'll move down to the other 1Bs, so, I mean, Jefferson County has really been able to move forward really, really well. I wish I could find something to do for the gentleman that runs it, because it's insane to me what he's doing from Chicago, most of it, but he does a really, really nice job.
Was that the entomologist?
Yeah, that's academia, yeah, Summerhouse, he does a fantastic job. Crazy.
Can I say kudos to Carrie too, because I know like rollout wise, I think it was, we got the message on Tuesday to fill out the form, Wednesday, it's like, yep, you're getting it. Wednesday night, you go home, okay, getting it Thursday, I mean, it was
quick.
3 days. It was not, she had to be on top of everything too, to even get it.
Good job.
Thanks, Carrie.
There.
Okay, can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I have a discussion, if, under the February meeting, I believe, that we've already, oh no, I'm sorry, it was the wrong one. The high school EES special ed para, I thought we hired that person in February, but it might be job assignment is different.
No, this is the new one.
It's the one in our packet, which
Yeah, it's the one
I
in the
think
packet.
we added
Did we add that last month?
in February. But I don't think the duties were split.
No, the split of the duties is recent to come up here.
So,
Yeah.
so maybe that makes it appropriate. But I think it was handled, reviewing the minutes.
Are you sure you're not thinking of the teacher that we hired in the last
No,
month?
it says hires EES special ed aid.
Okay.
So I
We
think
put a
that
teacher on late last time, is that the one? We had a teacher very.
we had an aid, but I could be mistaken.
It's an EES
The
special
other thing
ed.
that I would like to bring up is I think it's absolutely fabulous that BP gave us another donation, and I think that needs to be recognized.
Well, and I was gonna mention specifically what that was, because I actually picked up the check myself personally for that, delivered it. So the track and field equipment has been using a pole vault pit for decades, and decades. That has been piecemealed, various mats, and basically doesn't really meet current safety standards. This is desperate need of being replaced. So Joel has been working really hard and got a number of bids to find out what it would cost to replace that, because this spring we are actually hosting 2 key track and field invitationals and the conference championships here. So we really need to have good equipment to keep not just our kids safe, but everyone's kids safe. So they are in the process of putting in an order for a brand new pole vault pit. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to have a giant panther head on it. And on the side, it's going to have the Save for Kids logo for everyone to see. But he donated $5,000 for it's approximately $16,000 purchase. And the Athletic Booster Club also donated $5,000. So over half of the cost of that is courtesy of community donations, basically, and the booster club. So I think that would be an awesome addition and something to be proud of. The kids should really enjoy having a beautiful piece of equipment added to the standard process athletic field. And hopefully that will also show that we are taking care of the fields and equipment out there. So
just to back up to Mitzi, Zach did find documentation.
Yeah, and that's what I caught now, that we split the duties, so I don't acknowledge that we did do them.
Is it okay to just check it?
It's already seconded.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, action item A, consider approval of the 2021-2022 school calendar.
I will make a motion to consider approval of the 2021-2022 school year calendar.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Went through curriculum policy or we had other factors. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Action item B, consider approval of the 2021-22 course catalog as presented at the curriculum policy committee meeting on March 3rd.
I will make a motion to consider approval of the 2021-2022 course catalog as presented to the CMP committee.
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion?
Just had a couple of questions. I wasn't at the CMP curriculum meeting. So in reviewing that, it appears, I noticed like a few new additions. I think the tech ed department added at least one or two different classes compared to last year.
There's a couple changes in business that are transcripted, but they were courses that existed. There's a new business course, there's a new health sciences course, and a new English course. Tech Ed, I think she kept all the titles the same and just did a lot of changes to the description.
I think there was, I remember,
Unless you can
I
help
think
me.
there was one total more this year, but I think maybe it was a Woods class that was another level was.
Oh, yes, she did. We decided to structure Wood slightly differently and add, instead of taking advanced twice, to make it 3 and 4, because that helped her with her sequence.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the E-Dynamics, was there a few more?
Yes, so they are constantly expanding their catalog. I mean, you can spend hours and hours on there. So we wanted to try and have the kids register for the E-Dynamic they want to take instead of registering for E-Dynamic as a placeholder. So that's why we tried to put as much in the course catalog. We met with Jenny Anderson for a long time to determine what's in there. But I'll be honest, they'll probably pop out another 10 to 12 new courses over the summer. And they are pretty much all available to the kids. It's just what's in the course catalog right now. So yes, there are definitely probably some additions there.
Okay. And this might be premature, I don't know if this has been discussed yet, but looking ahead, we're talking courses for next year. Have there been discussions or considerations for offering some virtual learning options going into next year?
We have not discussed that at this point.
Any further questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Action item C, consider approval of the ECCP document for the fall semester of 2021. That was in your packet, I believe it's one student.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to consider the approval of the ECCP document for the fall semester of the 2021.
I'll second.
Any further questions or discussion?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
They're not as many this year, and we pushed hard again, and it just kind of ebbs and flows, so it's got a nice course, a nice offering that the child has, so.
Do you think this student's going to be successful?
Yes.
Very
I have
interesting.
no doubt of the success of this student.
Maybe we have another Herb scholar coming on.
Yeah.
It's a nice 10 grand, I'll tell you that.
I was hoping the Python class was about snakes, but I think it was computer. Oh, it's like an environmental science. Yeah, it was. Any further questions? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of the referendum debt repayment. This talked about again in finance, since you touched on that. Is there a motion?
I would move that we consider approval of the referendum debt repayment.
Second.
Any further discussion or questions? Just as you said, this will save us $12,000.
Over $12,000, and that will remove a bond that is due March 1st, 2023.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion consider approval of 2021 EES summer school program.
I would move that we consider approval of the 2021 EES summer school program.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Basically, I think we all think it's great we're bringing it back. And it looks like a great way to start, and I think it's just going to be a win-win for the kids and the district as a whole.
And
So
thanks to Katie.
kudos to Katie, yeah, I wish she was here.
If I could, it helps our numbers in 3 years from now. We're going to be, if we have, enough kids coming in, we should have the full amount that we're going to get, and it's good to have that.
And it's good academically.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, district administrator and business manager reports.
Okay, you heard about the vaccinations earlier. I did send out, I think it was Sunday night, I lost track of cases. But the leadership org chart that hopefully we'll look at in full session, I think it makes a lot of sense. The only piece that needs a little bit of work is the curriculum piece, but talking with my team here, I think we have some ideas on how to get that appropriately covered. Also, thanks to Carrie and her team on the calendar. Those are always a work of art, I think, to make sure you're getting the right days off and maintaining the breaks when people have them. But again, thanks for that work. You'll also notice now the state used to require days, now they require minutes. So more than enough minutes there, and we've built in some potential snow days and those kind of things. Wisconsin Assembly is working on a bill that would provide some additional cash to school districts that are in session and have been in session as kind of an incentive. Not sure where that will go, but I would think that would be good for us. If that does finally pass, I think, I don't know how people could argue against that, other than the schools that are not in session might complain, well, it's not fair to us, but, hopefully some action will be taken on that very soon. And then, yeah, final thanks to Katie for the summer school work. Again, I mean, the big benefit is academically, but also potentially as a draw to keep kids here in the district. And then finally, the time that is spent in summer school does eventually make its way to the state aid formula as well as the rest of the cap formula. So those are all good things, and hopefully we have a good turnout. And that's it.
Al, you gave us your report, the board package. Do you have anything further? Did anyone have any questions for Al?
Well, I just, if someone has questions, I just want to say this, the district is in a solid state financially. We have an anticipation of a surplus that is to be substantial. I don't expect to have to borrow any money from the line of credit this year. Even with the hurdle that I'm putting in there in the cash flow that I have, that those 1.9 million that I'm putting out in the last month may not happen because we've already been withheld aid from DPI or by DPI. So I think both numbers that I have, both the results and the cash flow, are giving me the confirmation of that substantial surplus at the end. Of course, if we decide to, take action and then give to teachers, we will not realize that much, but it will be a substantial amount that we'll be realizing. I wanted to bring your attention to the resident projection. Even though there is a decrease, not a very substantial decrease in the next 2-3 years, I am expecting that to pick up on 24, 25, and 26. Mostly because the areas have had growth. There was a growth of 6% in a year in 17, 18 in Eagle, years, so the population of students should tend to grow if we manage to, keep them in our schools, and I think we're taking every step we can to do that, and to, assure them that they're in a good school, and that they will have success academically and in many other areas of their lives. So I think the district is looking good, and we're heading in the right direction. We've paid all of our debts. Everything has been paid for the year, so we don't expect to have any more payments. It's covered, and that's included, all that money is included in the results that I'm anticipating to have. So I think it's good news for everyone in the district that we're implementing new policies, procedures, all sorts of new programs and software to help us, give a better service to the district. And I guess we're in a good position financially and operationally as well. So thank you.
I just had one quick question. I had, it seemed some confusion and questions. Just information about the open enrollment out payments. That money is withheld, if I understand correctly, that's withheld from the money we receive from the state. So you're not physically having to write out a check or anything like that.
No.
And we've already had that money withheld at this point, so when do we feel that effect of those open?
I think it's at the end of the year, because if you have some OE students come back, you don't get charged the full amount. So it usually happens towards the end of the year.
Yeah, there's an adjustment that's going to happen. DPI normally has been withholding more than they needed. I think this year they've given us a little bit back, and so maybe it'll be a little bit more, tight. But at the same time, I don't expect, like I said, to have a huge amount of money going back to DPI. I will have probably a better idea, because they do issue, like some sort of a forecast of what they're going to withhold and what they're going to pay, or how much you're going to have to pay at the end. But I don't expect it to be a huge number either.
And our forecasts were seeing the open enrollment out trending downward and our open enrollment in trending upward, right?
Yes, and basically, yes, that's the residents. We have had a decline in residents. Not really in our schools. Our schools have remained the same. Maybe we've lost 2 kids, but from September to January. But some residents moved out of the district, which means, well, we don't get their money, but we don't have to pay for them either. Yeah.
So just for clarification, this isn't going to last forever, right? Once our credit rating gets to a certain point, we'll start managing our stuff ourselves, or does every district have to be suffered to DPI holding money back for open enrollment?
Well, no, anyone who's, in our case, the number of open enrollments out is substantial, given the size of the budgets and size of the district. So I think once things start to level out, yeah, no, that's not okay. But I mean, irregardless, by the end of the year, if you have open enrollment students out, that money is withheld from your final pay.
Sure. And so we would have to pay it cash at the end, or they can withhold it. That's, I'd rather not have the money and not have to, pay them.
Way that makes sense.
Thanks, Deb. Positive news.
Announcements and board comments. I just want to touch on, we've talked a few times tonight about everything the athletic boosters are doing for us, and they've just announced their golf outing, which is their largest fundraiser that everyone in the community can certainly participate in. I believe it's June 5th. And so that's just something that I think, I have no clue how to golf, but other people do, and I think people can even go and participate in the auction or donate items. So just any way we can support the athletic boosters would be fantastic. And then Carrie, are these middle school fundraisers, the book sale and the bake sale, are they open to the community, or is that just because of COVID? You have to-
I mean, I think Tammy's trying to keep them pretty much inside.
Okay.
That money, I think in Tammy's write-up, said it's going to a
little
little girl, yeah, a little girl with a medical condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think she's trying to keep them pretty much inside. I don't know what her plan is for the book sale for sure, but
Okay.
if you're in the building on Friday and you want to buy some baked goods, we'll let you too.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, anytime we can
Yeah.
support those. Anyone else have any other announcements or comments?
I'd just like to take a moment to recognize and thank Mr. Gregory Dietz. He is retiring. And he has been with the district for much longer than I even know. So it's always hard to lose a member of the family after being here so long. So I just want to thank him for all his years of service and his dedication to the students and the school district here. And I wish him the best in everything that as he moves forward.
Anything else? Can we have a motion to adjourn to closed session?
I'll make a motion to adjourn to closed session.
Can we have a roll call vote for that?
Yep. Tara Leroy,
Yes.
Michael Eddy,
Yes.
Zach Rakowski, Doris Parsons,
Yes.
Jean Reed,
Yes.
Mitzi Rashewski,
Yes.
Christiana Williams.
Yes.
Okay, we are now in closed session. We will reconvene.